Well, hello, Jonathan. How are you?
Morning. Wonderful. I am doing wonderful,
It's
Myrna.
so good to see you. You are the only guest at the roundtable besides me today. So we're going to be able to just spread our wings, sir, and we won't have to have our little opinions interwoven with other people. We're just going to say what we want to say right now. So I like today's topic as a coach, but just as anybody who's kind of redesigning their life. Our topic is goals and habits. And so there's some interesting psychological work about, how to develop habits, how to do habit stacking, different kinds of things, which we'll get into. And I'm excited to hear your insight about that. So, first, as always, we go to the magical slides. Here we go. And share. Hey, look at that. Nobody got hurt. And I'm sharing the correct screen. Doo, doo, doo. Okay, so here's a guy who I think had a workout and is now getting his water. And let's look and see. So, some people are naturally organized around creating a list of goals. And in 2025, we have more of the year behind us than ahead of us. We have about 135 days, 137 days before the year is over. So we have 200 days behind us. And some people that are watching this video decided they were going to achieve some things in 2025, whether it's changing habit or setting a goal or just, I'm going to strike out and kind of screw up my courage and try something. Where are you 200 some days later as 2025 has unfolded? So we can look at that too. Habits, I think, Jonathan, especially your work with alchemical hypnosis, we sometimes develop habits unconsciously that don't serve us. And they come to you to say, please help me undo this habit. It's not serving me. I have a bad habit and I want to replace it with good habits. So habits are helpful to people all the time. Something as simple as, unload the dishwasher before you go to bed, or turn on the dishwasher before you go to bed, or do your laundry once a week so that, on Monday mornings you have clean clothes to wear to work. Whatever habits are serving you in life, you can consciously shape those habits and in doing so, shape your life. In terms of creating goals, we'll chat about that too. I think sometimes people are a little too achievement oriented, but as you said in a recent roundtable, ambition is not a bad thing. Ambition is how all great inventions were done. It's how we cross the oceans. Ambition is a good thing. And so sometimes the fulfillment of ambition starts with setting some kind of a goal, finding out if you could achieve that, and building from there. We know as a business coach, executive coach, that tracking your results is critical to knowing if you're achieving anything or moving in the right direction. And while the results may be better sometimes and worse other times, it is kind of a way to double check your math that, yes, this is still making sense. Yes, this is still how I want to be spending my time or my money. In the business world, they have a saying that what you can measure, you can manage. And so by tracking results, that's the measurement part. So you could manage, do I need to be doing more? Do I need to be doing less in order to achieve what you are trying to achieve? Celebrating wins, I think, is something we do here at A Life Designed, because sometimes even a small change has taken a lot of effort. It's taken a lot of emotional effort, or we had to go through 3 phases of giving ourselves permission to try, or we had to, keep our spine strong, as you mentioned the other day, while other people say, you can't do that. That's never going to work. Why are you even trying? So when you actually achieve something, whether it's a party of one or celebrating wins with people that support you, celebrating wins, that milestone it kind of adds fuel for the next stage of what you're trying to achieve. Making lifestyle changes can also be part of habits and goals, even if it's just dialing back caffeine or dialing up protein, or as in our picture, getting enough water. Most of us walk around dehydrated. And then finally, in terms of business processes, which is a lot of the work that I do with clients, habits around your calendar and habits around your time management, habits around when you return emails or do you let your inbox drive your whole day. So some simple business processes coming from the goals you want to achieve let you build strong habits. So it's a very coachy topic, but that means I love it. So, and now let's look at a couple memes and then we'll go to our discussion. So I have a little achievement here. Look, we're celebrating wins. Here's this lovely Aristotle quote, but written in kind of a teenage girl way with lovely flowers and leaves and a bird. We are what we repeatedly do. Success is not an action, but a habit. So it is an action, but it's one that reoccurs, recurring action. I take my walk every day, or I make sure I get 22 ounces of water every day, or whatever that looks like. That repeated action is what helps your habits get you to where you want to go when you've set a goal. And I don't have any bad habits. I'm good at all of them. And then at the end, exercise. I thought you said extra fries. Okay. There we go. So, Jonathan, your thoughts as we come into discussions of habits and goals. Oh, I can't hear you. Yeah, there we go. No, no, no. Can you hear me? I don't know if you want to go out and come back in. We could do that. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me? Ah, technology. You want to go out and come back in? Yeah. Mhm. Well, here we go. It's really wonderful, the promise of all the technology, but it also has to work. And we've all had our moments where we have a technology fail. And it's especially frustrating if we're using $1,000 iPhones and expensive auxiliary microphones, which he's using. And then we have a little tech fail, but all of us have experienced it. And so we just reboot and go again. We can also do that with habits, since I'll chat about that while I wait for Jonathan to return. With 200 days come and gone in 2025 and, 135 or so days ahead, 150 wherever we are, uh, some of the things we've tried, we've since abandoned. It's common for New Year's resolutions to not really survive January or February. So let's bring Jonathan back in. Hey there.
How about now? Can you
You
hear me?
sound fantastic.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, no, that's great. So wonderful. Well, so I know you have some thoughts about habits and goals, and you help people undo habits that they want to change, the especially tough ones where they need a little assistance. So please share your thoughts.
Yes, so I have mixed feelings when it comes to habits.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say.
Because in my experience, habits makes us robotic.
Mm,
So if for good or for bad,
mhm,
once it's said, we don't have to think about it.
mhm,
Um, so when we don't have to think about doing something, it can get um, it gets tricky because we are not consciously exercising our free will of choice. So becoming robotic,
mhm,
I think it's a good thing for like a period of time,
mhm,
but then making it more like a ritual is better than like a habit. Like
mhm.
making it like conscious is
Yes.
it's better.
Yeah.
Now, if there are some habits that are more damaging than other ones for sure. So actually, now that I think about it, I am more into the business of helping people breaking habits.
Mhm.
So breaking it and then creating a new one from
Right.
scratch.
Right.
Now, once the new one is established, I like to make sure that it doesn't become robotic.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
like when you go to work and always take the same exit on the freeway, like
Yeah.
same exit, and then all of a sudden you change work or you change your the place where you live, and
Mhm,
then you still exit on that exit because
mhm,
you were not thinking about it.
mhm,
So
mhm,
that's how one of the things that I do not like about habits.
mhm.
But I will say to make a positive change, it is I will be pro habits
Mhm,
when it comes to getting rid of an old one and implanting a new one. I will say yes, it's a great start. But
mhm.
then after you get rid of the old one, it is a great idea to not allow yourself to become robotic
Yeah.
because some people are their lives are run by habits. I have met some humans that are extremely
Mhm,
productive
mhm,
but they are not actually like paying attention to life. They're
mhm,
just going through full speed
mhm.
robotically. Uh,
Yes.
and they are extremely successful in many areas, but at the
Mhm,
same time, they do not have any time to experience life, like the beautiful moments that pass
mhm,
by, and they don't even know they
mhm.
pass because
Because
they're
they're
just
on autopilot, right? They're
yes,
just not really paying attention. I've had that experience where it feels like the car drove itself home from work because I didn't even notice. I'm singing songs to the radio or I'm listening to traffic and weather or a news report, and suddenly I'm pulling into the driveway. And I'm like, I'm in autopilot, literally. And so I love your idea of making sure you take different ways to work and you mix up some routines. I know that, like with nutrition habits, people insist that you kind of do it in sprints. So if you're adding vitamin D3 or you're adding creatine or you're increasing your protein, whatever it is you're doing, that you do it for a period of time, whether it's a week or 90 days, and then you get blood work done. You stop and you revisit the decision rather than now for the rest of my life, I'm going to take these supplements
yes,
because, your body changes. Maybe it's starting to stack up in your liver and you don't even notice. And so, yeah, I think sometimes that intervention of, okay, and then there's a time where we take a break from it and we check in. Do we still want to be doing it? Did it give us the results we needed? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Even if you're installing good habits, that to be kind of unconscious and a set it and forget it is not going to serve you in the long run, even when you're installing good habits.
yeah. So that's what I think about habits. It's And then especially when it becomes like a multitude of habits,
Hmm.
it's like a paradigm
Hmm.
because then it's not only what we do, it's also the way we think and the way we see things.
Hmm.
So if you get fixed on a habit, that means for me that means there's no space to grow because then you're fixed on a set,
Hmm.
it's like a straight line that you can't get out of.
Right.
Um, that's why I have mixed feelings when it comes to habits.
Mm.
But yeah, like I said at the beginning, it's a great idea to get rid of the ones that are damaging you, and it's fine. We can create a new one. But then after you create the new one, it's a even better idea to not get sucked into them.
Mhm.
Um, So if you, yeah, just becoming conscious of the habits, it's a great idea. And there are ways to do that, to be um, actively. That's what I mentioned. Like, I don't know if ritual is the right word to use, but even like brushing your teeth. Uh,
Mhm.
if if you pay attention and you don't do it like exactly the
Same
same
way.
way,
Mhm.
it makes a huge difference. Like
Mhm.
the way you see it, the way, and actually like the way we think about things, the way we think about ourselves, or self-talk is also habitual. But like we don't even, well, most uh, humans don't think about that stuff, but it's happening on autopilot because it's a habitual thing.
And it affects us and our daily experience. It affects
Yes.
how we are shaping our lives unconsciously. And so to be more conscious about how we shape our lives or design our lives, I have a question for you about um, how you can have a goal. So sometimes you help men improve the filter in a dating scenario. You know, if, and this is true for women too, and I've done a little bit of this work with men and women. If you keep dating the same kind of people, you keep getting the same kind of results. And so something has to change if you don't have the outcome you want. If you want a long-term relationship or you just want a hot girlfriend or whatever your goal is, you know, if you're not achieving results with what you're doing now, shifting what you do now makes sense. So that could be a goal. I read someone, an article recently about someone who's going boy sober. And she had this habit. She lives in New York City and she's, I think, 28 and is a successful marketing person, I guess. But she had a habit of making sure she had a date on the dating apps Thursday nights and Friday nights. So she just made sure it was set up and she went out Thursday nights and Friday nights. She's an extrovert. She likes to go out. She likes to try food. She likes to go dancing. She likes live music. And so that's a habit she developed because that's the lifestyle she's choosing. And she went on like three bad Hinge dates. I guess Hinge is a dating app.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you know, I need a break. And so she gave herself a 30-day break and called it going boy sober. You know, like 30 days without alcohol or 30 days, you know, she was just going to break her own habit. And she started hanging out with friends. She took up a new like spinning class or something that she never had time to do, but now she had time. She did it Thursday nights because she wasn't booking dates or whatever. And she actually went 3 months. And it gave her the chance to do what you're suggesting is she started re-examining why she was in that habit, making new decisions instead of just continuing with the decision she made 3 years ago that she wants to be busy on Thursday and Fridays. And so she's much more conscious now about who she's going to date and why. And it's not habitually organized, but quality organized. So do you have any feedback about, you know, you want to give people a goal to get out, get seen, you know, mix up with people, but do it in a way conscious enough that they're seeing people that is who they want to be spending time with somehow.
Yeah, like I was saying, as it is okay to create a new habit as long as you don't get like consumed by it. Like for example, I've met some people that they never been to the gym, and then next thing that you know they start going to the gym, and then all of a sudden, like 3 months after, they start calling themselves gym rats.
Gym rats,
I'm
yeah.
like, no, no, that's not the point. You do it to get healthy and because it's good for your body. But if you're going to make your existence, or if you're going to associate yourself with just one idea, like I am a gym rat, then all of the other options, all of a sudden, uh, they get dismissed uh,
Mhm, mhm,
because of the way because it's so powerful. We become what we think about what we say. So if you say I am a gym rat, that means that you're going to be on the gym race. I don't know, is that even a thing? But it looks like it is. Um, so yeah, just being conscious about the fact that habits can be, they're like a tool. I see them as a tool. So if you use the tool properly, it's
mhm.
going to work and it's going to make wonders for you. uh, in kind of like an effortless way once it's set up, but keeping track of. Actually, I think like doing some kind of exercise. I'm sure we can come up. Well,
Mhm.
not right now, but with like on a session, there's easiest ways to like set up like a tracking record of like
Mhm.
what is it that you're doing, why, and
Mhm.
then keep track of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, habits. Starting a new one, it's like it can be a good thing, but then keeping track of it is great. Now, when it comes to goals, I know what I do know is that for what I have seen, most humans they do not set goals that are um, meaningful enough for them to keep going.
Oh.
They do not set goals that are like scary enough for them to grow. Let's say if you set up a goal based on something that you already know how to get, but it's just like the next version. Like for example, if you already have a car and then you say, I want a brand new car, then that goal is not going to make you grow as a person because you
Mhm.
already know what you have to do. You
Mhm.
already have a car. You just want a new one.
Mhm.
So it's just going to take time, but you know you're going to get it regardless of what happens.
Mhm.
So when we set up goals beyond our wildest dreams or like something really, really important for us,
Mhm.
or let's call it big goals. Even if we do not achieve that goal, the
Mhm.
process of getting there is going to make you grow as a human in so many different dimensions,
Mhm.
like in so many different ways. So I would recommend for humans to actually, if you're going to set up a goal, uh, even if it scares you, uh, make it as big as you can possibly imagine it because then by default you're going to expand in all different kinds of ways. Uh,
Mhm.
so setting up big goals, and I know it's scary because of the terror barrier that I talked about a long time ago.
Mhm.
Because you do not know how are you going to achieve that goal because it sounds crazy in the first place. And then when you start actually growing to get there, you start breaking all these amalgamations of habits that were already set. So that you're breaking one by one, you're going through them like glasses, and then it gets it gets scary. It's terrifying at some point, but that's what makes you grow as human. I mean, in
Mhm.
so many different ways. So for me, setting up goals that scares you
Mhm.
and you do not know how you're going to achieve them, for me that is a good goal. If
Mhm.
you told me that your goal is a very mundane goal or something that you know how to actually get,
Mhm.
it's just going to take you some time. To me, doesn't. I wouldn't even call that a goal. That's just like a project, like a side project that you
It's
have.
not a goal that involves that stretching and that growth that you
Yes,
see people get. Well, one of the things that people benefit from working with a coach, obviously, we talk about designing your life with coaching support with our team of coaches, but you can have that conversation. In fact, this woman, when she was 25, decided, I want a life in New York City that lets me hit all the hot spots. I know all the best restaurants. I'm out with hot guys a couple times a week. This was a dream. This was her goal. And so she had the habit of getting on multiple dating apps and then booking Thursday and Fridays. And 4 years in or 5 years in, it's no longer satisfying to her. She's it achieved the results. Like you say, there's no stretch anymore in that. And so what's right in the time of her life now was to take a break from dating and to re-examine what is fulfilling to her, and time with friends and a new exercise routine. There was something else she did too that was more culturally oriented. Maybe she took a ballet class and signed up for the ballet. She just wanted to explore dance theater kind of thing. But you can have 3 or 4 or 5 years go by and your interests have changed. You've had enough of the thing that you wanted. And now you re-examine and want something else. Working with a coach can help with that re-examining part.
the
Of course,
re-examining.
yeah, this is no longer serving me. It was fine. I achieved it. I'm happy I did it. I'm kind of over it. I need a new challenge, or I need to round out other parts of myself or my life experience. So, a chance to do kind of a reset, a coach can help with that. Here's another thing, and I'm going to ask you about this. I was talking with someone recently who struggled with her weight most of her life. Her whole family did. Some kind of metabolic insulin resistance thing genetically. And so every kind of diet, every kind of system, she does exercise every week, but has always carried extra weight. Well, she got on the weight loss drug. Her doctor prescribed one of them. I forget, one of the new ones. And 60 pounds is gone. And she thought she needed to lose like 40. Her doctor's like, we have to stop. Like, you have no body fat now, and for whatever reason, it solved the metabolic insulin dysfunction, whatever this medicine was. And that the combination of diet and exercise simply did not do for like 30 years. And her coaching challenge is not that she achieved this goal. It's fantastic. She's had to redo her wardrobe. She has more energy. She's sleeping better, all that stuff. That's good. Now, some of her friends resent her. Some of her friends compete with her around beauty and how active she is. Some of her relationships are not responding positively to these new good changes. It's a little bit like if you hang out with your bros and then one of the bros gets a hot girlfriend and is less available. The bros that were hanging out can resent him, right? Like, oh, you're doing something I wish I was doing instead, also, but you're actually doing it. I kind of hate that you have this new hot girlfriend and you're not free for our dart league or whatever we were doing to hang out. So the changes in your life will produce changes in people around you, not just you. And sometimes coaching can help with that. Do you have any feedback that way?
Yes, because whenever we make an impact or like a dramatic change, everything around you, including yourself, but like you said, but everything around you, your environment is going to change. Like by default, everything that comes with the new environment is going to be different, and more likely is going to be more positive. It's going to be better. And the people that used to be with you, uh, based on the old thinking or habits that you used to have, they were so comfortable with you being in that way. Like, let's say, oh, here comes the fat one. Oh, like they were. It's so easy to be like diminish them, you know. And then when that person starts to make a dramatic change,
Yes.
they do not like it. And I've seen that. I actually have experienced that myself, in so many different ways. But so that's when actually coaching can be a good thing, because if it's the first time that it's happening to you,
Yes.
you're going to be, actually, believe it or not, if you're listening to this, you are going to be attacked,
Yeah.
like passive aggressively and
Yes.
proactively attacked.
Right.
And
Be uninvited to things, or you
yeah,
hear snide remarks from your friend.
yes,
What is this? Yeah, I don't understand. And to your face, they want to celebrate your achievement, whatever it is. But behind your back, there's some jealousy or some competition. And this is human nature. It doesn't necessarily make them bad people, but they may not want to hang out with you anymore or as much.
yeah,
Sometimes other life changes, people can go through rounds of IVF, spend tens of thousands of dollars to try to have a baby. Then they have the baby. And now their friends that were rooting for them don't want to come over because there's baby stuff everywhere and there's a screaming baby in the background. And every 2 hours, whatever you're doing is interrupted because we're feeding the baby or changing the baby or putting the baby. The center of the universe is the new baby, which is kind of what it has to be with the baby.
yes,
So you can't really complain, but you don't want to hang out with them because you can't even get through a movie without pausing it so they can go attend to the baby. And so some natural changes in your life are going to lead to changes in your friend group, changes in how you spend your time. Even if it's a great achievement and people have been rooting for you, then your circumstances of your relationship could change. it's just naturally going to happen. So coaching can help you anticipate that and then coach you on how to have conversations about, look, I know we're not spending a lot of time together, but I miss you. And so I wonder if we could have a new habit of like a Thursday night phone call. You know,
Or
you finish your dinner, we both pour a glass of wine and we dish like we used to, and then I'll go change the baby and you go do what you're going to do with the rest of your Thursday night. So, but you know, you can reshift, you can, redesign those people you want to keep in your life to see if there's ways you can still have those bondings. But things have changed and we all adapt to the change.
yeah,
Any thoughts about, yeah, prepping people for that?
especially if the change or like the new habit or the new paradigm that you're installing or following is dramatic, and it's going to make it's like a very rapid change that is going to happen. It's like so fast. Uh, so the more positive it is, the more of a reflection you're going to be to those who used to be close to you of how they are not growing, and that's when it gets bitter. They get bitter,
Mhm.
and because they can see what they could potentially be doing as well,
Yes,
because they all come from the same background at some point, right? So if
right.
you start growing so fast,
Mhm.
every time they see you, you're going to trigger in them this reflection of like, who does he or she think she is? Why
Mhm.
does she
Mhm.
think she can be this way? Why does she look so happy? Why can she get to smile so much?
Mhm.
Well, before she was, I liked her more when she was depressed, and I had to like comfort her because
Right.
that's
We could
how.
both complain about how bad men are. Or we
Yes,
could both go to chick flicks and cry at the movie. And she's not available for that anymore. You know, one of the things that's happening, I've noticed, and then, we can share final thoughts and kind of wrap this up, but there's a big divide between people who are in their 20s and early 30s and decide to start a family, get married, start a family, and those who decide we may not get married, or if we do, we're not going to start a family. So to get married and to have children or to not, whether you're in a committed relationship. And I know people who say my friends that don't have children just don't understand the extra pressures and I'm not available. And it's not that I don't like them, I just don't even have time to sleep. So there's that friction. And then the unmarried or couples that don't have children have decided not to have children sometimes say, now that I see it's how it's turning out for them, we made the right decision. Like we would be giving away the next 15 or 20 years of our lives to be satellites around the children we brought into the world. And we
easily.
kind of like being the main planets to each other, and so we don't want to, invite new center planets and just rotate around them for 15 or 20 years. Now that we've seen what that looks like, yeah, we're going to just travel and have fun. We're not going to do that. So sometimes it positively reinforces each individual change, but change is built in, and coaching can help you with that, right? So, do you have final thoughts or?
Yes, one of the final thoughts before I forget is going back to whenever you make a huge change in your life, and understanding that there's no way around it,
Mhm.
you're going to be attacked, especially by the ones closest to you. I know this for experience. I
Yeah,
mean, it sounds horrible, but that's the reality of it.
yeah,
So building some thick skin is going to help a lot. Also, consciously understanding that it's not personal, it's
yeah,
just the way it is,
yes.
because you actually are a reflection on them of what they can possibly be doing, and
Mhm.
it's very triggering.
Mhm.
So building a thick skin, and remember that bricks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. So as long as somebody's punching you, you'll be fine. But it takes some level of understanding, and
Yeah.
I know I can help some humans with that. I know you have your ways of
Mhm.
communicating that idea. It's just a matter of styles. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, make sure that.
Especially your hypnosis techniques are really helpful to pretty rapidly undo habits that are no longer serving them. I mean, it's a hack to go through that process with you and just be shifted. So I really encourage people to explore that. And we'll have your contact information underneath.
Yes, you can find me on alivedesign.org.
Mhm.
Also, Jonathan Art Coaching on Instagram and via email jonathanartcoaching@gmail.com.
Very good. Well, I love that we have different points of view, but still understand that people need support. And they may be surprised, but we would tell them not to be surprised that sometimes their allies become, critics, or
Yes.
maybe even as far as enemies. I remember a story when Brian decided to become a digital nomad, and his friends were gathering around different times, get-togethers to say goodbye and good luck. And one of his close friends that he was on a pool team with said, I admire your courage that you're just going to sell everything and go. And I wish I could do that, and I can't. So that same thing that you talk about, they see that they could also aspire to that, and they recognize that they don't have the guts, or they don't want it enough to make that bold move. And they recognize the bold move in someone else. So he was kind enough to say, I'm, admire that you're willing to just sell everything and go. I have the feeling I want what you're going to get, but I can't do it myself. So, having some grace for people who may have been dreaming dreams they never planned to try to achieve. And then every once in a while, someone starts achieving something and they're reminded that, it's just a dream until they take some action around it. And they're not taking any action around it. So it can feel like an unfriendly reminder when someone in your friend group or your family takes the action and makes the progress and achieves the dream. So. Yeah. Well, no, it was really great conversation with you. We have a team of coaches that we work with at alifedesign.org, and we'll share that information below. Thanks everybody for joining us today. And until next time.